I once heard someone say that friends are family you get to choose. Now, I love my family, don't get me wrong, but it's just a different relationship with friends. You get to meet them along all walks of life. Some are for seasons, some are for a lifetime, some you go deeper with, and some you just talk about things that are common interests. So today I want to talk about how to be a good friend. Last episode was about how to make friends, so definitely check that one out if you feel like you might be struggling in the friend department or want to just make more friends, deeper connections, whatever that might be. But this episode is going to pair with that one in how to be a good friend yourself, which will also help your relationships with others. So let's dive in. Are you too busy to prep healthy meals? Do you feel self-conscious about your body and your clothes not fitting right, but you don't have time to work out? Does your life feel unorganized and messy? Do you wish you had routines and habits that made health simple, even with your busy schedule? I know, I've been there. Hi, I'm Shannon Marquita, and no one ever really taught me how to eat healthy. I didn't know anything about nutrition, so I found myself eating whatever was easy, which definitely impacted my energy, weight, and focus. That's why I created this podcast, to show you that through healthy habits and time management, you can know you're doing health right. So stop scrolling social, clicking the ads, and buying all the things. Let's grab our Americano and pop in our AirPods. It's time to solve the real problem together. Welcome home. A fresh start awaits. Friendships to me are just one of the best parts of life because they are relationships that go across all different avenues and pieces of us. We get to know ourselves better through our friends. We get to serve others. We get to laugh and cry and learn just so much about life. And it's interesting because I have friends from when I was very little. I have friends that I think back on and want to see, thankfully through social media, like, hey, what are you up to? I still care about you, but it's like the season that we were inseparable has passed. And then there are friends that you meet in your adult life who are just with you in this season. They might have not known you when you were younger, and so you get to tell them about those pieces and chapters, but they're here for the long haul. And it's just so interesting to me, all those different types of relationships. And not any of them are wrong. They all have their purpose. And so today I want to talk about how to be a good friend, no matter which type of relationship it is, whether one you've had your entire life, one that you think back on and maybe you kind of are still in touch a little bit, but not like you used to be. And then also those new friendships that are either in this season or have yet to be formed, how you can best serve that relationship and get the most out of it yourself. So to me, friendships are something where it comes naturally. Like you're uncomfortable because you are learning about each other, but it also is a safe place for you to be yourself. So I think about my best friends and I met them in all different stages of life and I just love them so much. It's crazy. One of my best friends I met through my dog because she is actually who I got him from. And one of my best friends, actually two of my best friends, I met while I was in college. Some of my best friends I met in grade school growing up, and I love that we are still so close. And even those ones that we're not still as close as we were, we still keep in touch. And when we see each other and get together or chat, it's just like no time has passed. And then the friendships that I've made in this current season of my adult life, where we bond over different things and we cover different topics and we get to share about our past and reflect on it, but we also get to walk these new chapters and journey together. So what it's really challenged me to do as a friend is really be intentional. Because for me, and maybe you can relate, when you're growing up, friendship seems a lot easier. Like you bond on the playground, you bond at your extracurriculars, maybe in Girl Scouts, or if you were doing cheer or a sport. I did tennis, volleyball, basketball, whatever it is. Like it just was super convenient because you guys did the same things together. And in college, you had the same classes or you were roommates. And then as you got older, you have to be more intentional. I know a group of my friends, we did kickball for a while, which I always am going to cherish that time, even though I definitely wasn't the strongest player. I rocked second base, but we all had so much fun because we were intentional about it. It was like no matter where we were in our schedules or life, we were guaranteed at least once a week to have an hour together on the field, in the dugout, and then we would often go out before or after to grab a drink or some dinner, whatever it was. And so it kept us all really connected. And although we still stay in touch now, yes, it's different, but that just is how life goes with its different seasons. And with that intentionality, it always taught me that you have to choose how you show up and that you show up. If you don't show up to your relationships and friendships, you can't really wonder why they're struggling or why they're less present or why that depth and closeness has faded. I love one of my best friends so much, but she's also one of the most honest people I know because she calls me out and she says, hey, I know we're best friends, but it seems like we haven't talked in forever. Or I'd really love to get together, but it seems like, both of our schedules aren't really matching up, but like, I don't want to lose this relationship. And I don't take that for granted in the slightest. I am so grateful that she does that because it is really easy for that to happen. She is in such an amazing season of her life with marriage and little ones. And I love the season that I'm in with my friendships and work and my family and my business, like all the things. But it's just different. Like our lives look different, but it's crazy how our schedules can still just get so full. And so we are very intentional. Every year for our birthdays, we make sure that we do a trip together. And even though it might not be talking on the phone, because that's not my favorite thing, although she loves it, and so I'm definitely trying to be better about it, we text and we send pictures. And I am very much trying to be more intentional for her sake and all my relationships' sake, because it is teaching me that I need to do that. It doesn't matter if I don't love talking on the phone. That's a way to stay in touch. And if the other person enjoys it, then I especially need to do it because it's important to them. So it's finding that compromise where you can still keep the relationship strong, whether it is from a couple miles away or states away or whatever it is. I mean, nowadays I have friends that have moved and live all over the world, not even just within the same country as me, but all over the world. And so social media is great and all the things, but we have to use our resources and not just think about each other because they don't know when you're doing that. I think about my friends all the time and gosh, I wonder what they're up to. And I know they had this thing coming up. I hope it went well. But it's like ask. Like just reach out, even if it's with a quick voice message or a text message. Hey, I'm thinking about you. How did that go? Right? Because it might not be a talk right then where you hop on the phone and an hour later you're all up to speed because not everyone has the time for that all the time. You can schedule phone calls, but you really have to ask each other, like, how's your world? I'm thinking about you. What's going on? Share a fun memory. And for the friends that are in close in proximity, I love it because we can get together and it might be, hey, let's grab some dinner, or let's go get an appetizer, or there's some live music, or hey, I'm going for a walk. You want to come? Yes, I do, because it combines some of my favorite things. It's fresh air, it's exercise, and it's friend time. Like, hello, if you can combine things that are all on your list, do that. And so that's going to help you to be more productive and also honor your priorities. For me, a big area that I struggle is I feel like my priority list is very long, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some priorities rank higher than others, but what I've learned is the more that we can combine them, it's kind of like habit stacking, where if you're trying to form or break a habit, you stack it with other things that are already solid. And that makes it an easier flow and easier to form, create, or get rid of a habit that you are working on. Same thing with your relationships. So if you're trying to have more friend time, that can look different in so many ways, but how can you make it flow so, I know this is going to sound terrible, but be less painful? Like, we all have so much that we're trying to get done, especially if you're in a certain season of life. Like my friends who have littles right now, like you have their schedules and you have your schedule and you have your spouse's schedule, all the things. And so friend time is so important, but it can also kind of fall through the cracks or get pushed to later. So getting to work out together and getting some sanity and fresh air to help clear your mind, but also getting to catch up, those are great ways to pair things together that are all on your list. So that is one of the biggest things that I just want to emphasize to each and every one of you is in order to have stronger, better relationships, you really need to be intentional. That is one of the biggest lessons in life is we can't wish for it. We can't hope for it. We can't just sit back and say, oh gosh, I hope I find really good people to be friends with, and I hope that we're close forever, and they always get me, and I never have to invest any time though. I can just do what I want and not ever worry about how they're doing. No, you need to show up and you need to be intentional and you need to figure out how that looks for your relationships and your life, but it's a choice. And the more that we choose that, the better our relationships will be and the more depth. And so it's not making it overwhelmingly hard. Like, I don't want this whole episode to sound like, oh my gosh, this is so much work. I mean, relationships are work, but it's something that you want to do because you love and care about the other people in your lives. And when you do this, it actually lowers your stress because you're not constantly thinking, oh, I really need to text them. Oh, I don't have time right now, but I really should reach out. It's like, just do it. Just like anything in your life, like stop thinking about it and pushing it off. Just do it. Send that text. Send that voice recording. Give them a quick call while you're on your drive. That's a habit that I've formed lately and has been working really well for me is when you're on a drive, you have a set amount of time and you can say it up front like, hey, I'm headed here, got about this much, but I just want to call and check in. Like, how's your world? How are you feeling? What's going on? I know the kids had this or you had that at work. Like, tell me about it, right? And so you are being a good friend and intentional, but you're also honoring both of your priorities and you're also modeling. So then they'll start to do it too. Hey, I've got just a little bit, but I wanted to check in with you because I miss you, right? So tell me about your world. And before you know it, it's like, okay, my friendships and relationships, they're thriving. And what did I change? I changed my level of effort from occasionally and randomly to intentional, but I also honored my priorities and they're honoring theirs too, and things are going really well. So the more that you are intentional with your relationships and friendships and really any area of your life, you're going to see a lot of progress and growth, and you are going to feel more fulfilled because your relationships are thriving and you know that you are being sincere and having quality relationships and friendships and being the good friend that you want to be. So decide who that is, what that looks like in your relationships, how you can be a good friend and how you want to show up, and then just do it. Like, stop making it complicated. Love the people in your life, whether it's for a lifetime, for a season, for a new season that maybe you haven't even met yet, and then just be that person because you want to be. You're friends with these people because you have things in common and you care about each other. So just love them where you are as best you can intentionally and be the person that you know you're meant to be. Show up for your life, for your relationships, invest in them, and you are going to see so many areas of your life start to change positively. Your stress decrease, and you are just going to feel overwhelmingly fulfilled because you are being the person that you know you're meant to be. You are being a good friend. You are reliable. You are consistent. You are present. You are loving. You are just all the things that you have hoped and wanted to be for so long. Now you're just choosing to show up and let others see that version of you. So I'm so excited that you guys are here today. I just love each and every one of you so very much. If you want to dive deeper on this topic or any topic, you can find me on social media at Shannon Marquita. That's Marqueta. You can book a coaching consult through my bio, or you can send me a DM and just let me know, hey, this is what I got out of this episode and it really has been serving me well. Here's where I was with some of my friendships and here's where I am now because of applying this intentionality and being the person that I know I'm meant to be and want to be. And I just care about you guys so much and I want the very, very best for you. So talk to you soon. If this podcast helped, challenged, or inspired you in some way, I would love it if you'd do me a huge favor and leave me a review over on Apple Podcasts. It helps me to hear from you and know how this is best serving you. And go ahead and screenshot this and share it in your stories. Tag me at Shannon Marquita. That's ShannonMarqueta. And send it over to a friend in a text who is ready for healthy changes in her life too. Let her know that this episode might serve her as well. I am just so grateful for you and would love to hear from you. Come hang out and let's connect over in my Facebook group, bit.ly.com/afreshstart, or send me a message. I look forward to seeing you back here in a few days.